Look into my eyes and show me adventures I haven't seen. Taking all the life, it hits the spot. Walking on fantasy. So take me, baby, take me to a state of mind.
What's up, guys? I'm Kevin Nahai. Welcome back to my YouTube channel, The Other Side. And on today's episode, we are going to be discussing the concept of being single. My fear that I had for most of my life of being single, the very real struggle that a lot of people have when they are single and when they're not in relationships. So there are a lot of people out there who really enjoy being single. They're like, I don't want to be in a relationship. I want to focus on my career. I don't want to have to share my life with anybody else, blah, blah, blah. I am not one of those people. And this video is really for the people who have a hard time when they're not in a relationship, who are hopeless romantics, who look forward to sharing their lives with somebody else, who want to be in a partnership, and who feel like something is missing from their life when they're not in a relationship. This was me for all of my life, but in a very bad, codependent way. If you haven't seen my video on codependency yet, I will link it in the description below, so make sure you check it out. But basically, for as long as I can remember, up until pretty recently, I viewed being single as like a death sentence. I thought that it was just the worst thing. I thought that if I'm not in a relationship, and for most of my adult life I wasn't in relationships, that I'm useless, that I'm worthless, that my only real value in life is being somebody's partner, is being somebody's boyfriend. And when girls wouldn't pay attention to me, or when my relationships wouldn't work out or whatever, I was just destroyed because I rested all of my identity and my self-worth in my relationships with women. And in being in relationships, I thought that that was like the most important thing in life. And I thought that that was the only way I was going to derive fulfillment and joy from anything in life. And of course, that's a really messed up way to look at relationships. And of course, it doesn't make you happy, because if you're not enough without a relationship, you'll never be enough with a relationship. And unfortunately, I had to learn that lesson the hard way. In all of my relationships, looking back, I can say that when I started to see that the relationship wasn't going to last, or when I started to see issues bubbling to the surface, I stayed in the relationship for way longer than I should have, simply because I was afraid to be alone. And that's not fair to the other person, and it's not healthy for me. And I know a lot of people who have stayed in their relationships for way too long, not because they really, really wanted to make it work, not because they truly believed that there was a future for that relationship, but simply because in addition to loving the person and in addition to not wanting to lose them, they were crippled by the fear of being single. And that's the way that I felt for the longest time. I'm 26 now, and I can say that for the very first time in my life, I'm actually okay being single. I wish that I had been able to achieve that state of mind earlier. I'm not happy that I lived my entire adult life being afraid of being single and thinking that it was this horrible, awful thing. Now, do I want to be in a relationship? Would I be happier if I were in a relationship? Yeah, of course, because that's the way that I am. I'm a giver, I'm a lover, I'm a relationship person, but I'm actually okay now with being single. I don't think that it's a death sentence. And this is something that I want you to do if you relate to my experience. I took the initiative of sitting down and actually making a list of all of the positives of being single. Right? Now, it's not my preference. I'd rather be in a relationship. I'd rather do all the things that I'm doing now with a life partner. But that doesn't mean that being single is the worst thing in the world and that there are no positives to it, right? There are things that I've realized are benefits to being single that I've only actually been able to believe those things and articulate those things to myself recently. But truly and honestly, I know that there are a lot of people who relate to that and a lot of people who feel that way. Those are people who should watch my codependency video. It's okay to be single. There is nothing wrong with it. And just because you haven't found the right person yet in life doesn't mean that it's a prison sentence. Doesn't mean that that's the way it's going to be forever. And in fact, what I've learned is that if you want to increase your chances of not being single for an extended period of time, if you want to increase your chances of finding your life partner, you need to shift your perspective and you need to believe that the person who is going to be right for you is out there and he or she is on their way. You need to start to close your eyes and envision and imagine a better, brighter future where you have found the person that you want to be with, that you've been longing for, and that they are coming, that they're around the corner, that they are out there and they are hurling towards you at lightning speed, and that what you seek is also seeking you. The relationship that I seek, that I'm looking for, that I've always wanted, I now have significantly higher chances of getting in that relationship because I'm in a better place in my life, because I love myself more. And I really believe there's a reason my relationships up until this point have not worked out. And the reason is that I entered those relationships being in a bad place. I entered those relationships feeling desperate to have a girlfriend, not loving and respecting myself, not having a really clear idea of what I truly want out of a relationship and out of a woman. And now that I have a much clearer idea of how much I love myself and what I truly want, and now that I'm able to believe that the right person really is out there for me and truly not just make that up, not bullshit myself, but truly feel that in my heart, I think that my chances of having that relationship and finding that perfect woman for me are significantly higher because I am creating that vision out of a much stronger and more stable and more happy, loving place, rather than creating that vision out of a desperate or sad or scared or anxious place. So if you feel this way, if you understand what I'm talking about, if this has been a part of your experience in life, there are two things I want you to do that will reframe your view on being single and that will increase your chances of finding the right relationship for you. These are things that I'm doing, that I've done, and they've helped me tremendously. The first thing is I want you to sit down and write out a list of 25 things that you love about yourself. And get specific with it, okay? Don't just write like, I love that I'm funny, or I love that I'm a nice person. Yeah, whatever. Everyone's funny, everyone's a nice person, okay? You gotta dig deep, and you gotta find the things that you really, truly love about that inner child, that you really, truly love about your personality that is unique to you, that nobody else has, okay? And feel free to boast. Don't be modest about it. This is an exercise of falling in love with yourself, because as I said, if you're not in love with yourself, it's going to be really difficult for somebody else to fall in love with you. And if you're not enough on your own without a relationship, you will not feel fulfilled when you're in a relationship because you will still be using that other person to try to fill you up. You got to fill you up first. And a great way to start that process is make this list, 25 specific things that you really love about yourself. The second thing that I want you to do, this is huge, is I want you to sit down and make a list of exactly what you want in a partner and exactly what you want in a relationship, okay? So I went crazy with this. My list of what I want in a woman and what I want in a relationship is 7 pages long, single-spaced, okay? There are about 50 things, and each one of those 50 things is like anywhere from 5 to 6 sentences, like a little mini paragraph on each of those 50 things on what I want out of my relationship. The way that I want to feel, the dynamic between us, how much we laugh, what her personality is like, what she looks like. I mean, everything from physical to spiritual to emotional to mental, everything I want in a woman and everything I want in a relationship, write them down as specifically as you possibly can. Now, understand that you won't get all of those things, okay? Because no one person is going to come in the package that you perceived with 100% of the things you want, okay? But if you can envision and get really, really, really clear about what you want, then when the red flags show up in your face, you'll immediately know, okay, that person's not right for me, and you won't waste your time. And when you find someone that has 6 or 7, out of 10 of the things that you want, that has 70 or 80% of the things that you've written on your list, then you'll know, okay, I can deal with that. That 20 or 30% of things that I'm not crazy about, it's okay, I can deal with it because I'm so clear on the things that I do want. And this person's coming to me with 70 or 80% of those things, and now I know exactly what it is that she has to offer, and it matches up with the things that I've envisioned that I want. But the first challenge is knowing what you want. The first challenge is getting really, really specific about what you desire in a relationship. So if you can do that, and if you can write the list of things that you really, really love about yourself, and if you can start to reframe being single as something that is positive, as something that is opening you up to a million possibilities, as something that you can actually take advantage of, and something that can be a good force in your life, then I think you really increase the chances of attracting into your life the right person for you. If you want me to share with you my lists, the 25 things that I love and the 50 things that I'm looking for in a relationship and in a partner, I would be more than happy to send them to you so that you can get a head start on your process. And as always, if this stuff makes sense to you and if you relate to it, please send me a message on Instagram. Please like and comment and subscribe to this channel, and I will see you guys next week.